Okay, I'm going to give another example of one of the rut stands that I like to use, a funnel, using water as a barrier. This one particular, water on both sides. It's very narrow, it's about 30 yards wide. I started hunting this spot in 2006. The first day I hunted it, I killed an 8.5-year-old buck out of here with my bow on November 10th. That was to this day the biggest bodied buck I'd ever shot. And to say that mature bucks don't go through funnels, that buck was 8.5 years old. Minimum, his teeth were worn down to the gums. They said that, 7.5, 8.5, hard to tell. I had seen the buck the year before. His rack hadn't changed, and he was the same size both years, just like a 130's 8-point. He has been going downhill. But anyway, when I found this spot, there had been that ball behind me. There was a swamp white oak tree, and it had fallen down across the creek. So I was able to go right across that creek, walk across that double trunk tree that had fallen down, and climb right up in this tree here. And I shot in 4 years 2 Pope and Young bucks out of there, a 4.5-year-old and an 8.5-year-old. And I only hunted it a few times. And there's a lot of good things about a setup like this. You have water on both sides. So right here, 30 yards away, is a big thick swamp. It's got a lot of scrub brush going through. I don't even know what you call that crap, but it's thicker than thieves, and the deer just don't go through there. I don't even think if you pushed them they'd go through there. They'd come right down through here. I have sat this in gun season before, and they run through here when they're pushed. But anyhow, the nice thing about hunting in a funnel like this with water on both sides is this creek here is a slow-moving creek. It has a lot of beaver dams going down through it, so the water barely moves. I mean, you can watch, I used to say you can watch a leaf sit in the same spot on this creek for 8 hours during a rut. And that water heats up on a high pressure day, especially when the sun's out and it's cold. That water heats up and it will pull your scent to the water. Now you can do that on either side. I would always set up either in that tree that I just showed you, right on the that's on the very bank of the creek, or else I would hunt this tree here, which I see I have one of my lone wolf straps. It's probably been in that tree for 8 years or more. I've wondered where that went to. But and I'd hunt that tree, and then I have the swamp back behind me. And of course, I'm trying to play the wind, but in the evening, when the wind dies down, it's going to pull, your scent is going to usually drop. But if you're close to the water like this, that water, as long as it's behind you, it should pull your scent towards the water. That's why you want to make sure that you don't set up in a situation like that where a pond or a creek or something like that is in front of you, and the deer are going to come between you and that pond in the evening, because your scent is probably going to pull towards that trail. And when the deer come down through there, if you can't get an arrow on them before they get with your wind, they're going to bust you. So I just wanted to show another spot that I like to use. And anytime you find something like this, don't listen to the naysayers that say that mature bucks don't go through constricted areas or funnels. Because I ran cameras in here for years, and I got pictures of bucks that were 160s, 170s, of course, always when I wasn't here. But a lot of mature bucks walk this 25-yard patch during daylight in the rut looking for does. There's a bedding area to the north and a bedding area to the south. And it just makes sense when you find something like this to hunt it. And the more places you have like this, the more chances you have at killing mature bucks consistently.